Hey, vinyl community, what's going on? Welcome back. This is HubTunes. I am Mike. I am jumping on a thread. This is the thread that Dom from Seeking a Thread started about a month ago, maybe even longer. The Acid Archives, based on this book. Cool book. If you like stuff like reference books like this is a really good one to pick up. I think you can get it for like $40, $45. I don't know what I paid. I've had it a while. It's a really interesting book if you like stuff like this. I like this one better. This is Psychedelia, 1966 to 1970. I really dig this book. This has actually a little bit, it doesn't cover as many years, but it's got more photos of like the psychedelic scene, and it's got more album cover artwork, which I kind of like. It also doesn't, it's got a lot of psychedelic, but it kind of also covers the basic psychedelic records from the time. And of course, it's only 4 years. So, but really cool book. If you dig books like this, grab stuff like this. This is by Psychedelia, 101 iconic underground rock albums, 1966 to 1970 by Richard Morton Jack. So there's only 101 in this book, and it's pretty thick. This has more than 5,000, and it's pretty thick too. It just doesn't have as much artwork. The artwork is pretty sparse. Not every album has artwork for it. In fact, most of the records do not have artwork. But it's great. It's got some cool stuff. It's the ultimate guide to underground sounds, 1965 all the way to 82, which is pretty cool. That's what I like about it, because it has the beginnings of like post-punk and new wave. There's a bunch of stuff in here about like that. Expanded and revised second edition, more than 5,000 rare albums reviewed, including full data, original release reissues, and market value. So cool book. I remember when he did his first video, I said to myself, wow, I think I have that. And I put off, and then finally I was like, oh man, that'd be a good video. I should jump on that thread. I've seen a few other people jump on the thread too. So this book is definitely out there in the vinyl community. People do know about it. But yeah, grab it if you're into like reference books like this. It's really cool. So I actually found about 6 or 7 records, kind of rare, not rare, but cool records that I like in the book. So I'm gonna talk about, for this video, I might do another entry into this thread. I'm gonna talk about this record, The Human Beinz Evolution. This is a great psych record. I'm gonna take it out because I love this artwork. I just love the green and the photo of this. And then you got all these guys on here. Richard it just has their first names. Richard on lead guitar and lead vocal. Ting on rhythm guitar and backup vocal. Mel on bass and backup vocal. And Mike on drums and percussion. Doesn't even have their last names listed. So these guys were on Capitol Records. This is their second record. Their first record has a huge hit on it, and that is Nobody But Me. No. You know that song? I'm not going to sing any more of it. That was a huge hit in the 1960s. That came out in 1967, right when they signed. Their debut album is really good, too. They do a lot of, there's a lot of covers. They do Foxy Lady. They do a couple of Dylan songs live, I believe. This does not have any cover songs, I don't believe. Well, no, there's no cover songs on here. The first one does have Foxy Lady, and there was one other cover. I forget what it is, though. They do a cover of Love Light, covered by many people, but probably most famously by the Grateful Dead. That's their debut. This is their second album. Really good stuff. These guys are excellent musicians, really good musicians. The guitar work on here is fantastic. I'm guessing it's Richard on lead guitar and lead vocals. That's that dude. He is a smoking guitarist, really good guitarist. These guys were I think they were from Ohio. I want to say they were from Ohio. King. Yeah, I'm pretty sure Ohio. It opens with a song called The Face, which was really good. I thought that was going to be the single, but I looked it up and it's not the single. Then the next song is My Animal, which I also thought was going to be the single. It's not. The single is a song called Every Time Woman, and the second single was I've Got to Keep on Pushing. And it's just a terrific, it's psychedelic, but his guitars really make it sound like more like a garage band. They remind me a lot of early Who, especially the song The Face. It's just got that Who sound like from the early days. But then My Animal, that doesn't sound as much like the Who. Every Time Woman sounds a lot like the Who. And it's a really good record. I'd love to get their first. I'd love to get their debut, but I have a feeling that's going to be a lot more expensive. I didn't pay anything for this. This I paid for. This is an OG. I don't think I paid more than $10 for it years ago. But it's great. I absolutely love it. It sounds good. It's got great sound for the day. 1967 this came out. I think both their debut and this came out in 1967. Capitol, once they had that big hit with the first single, Capitol milked everything out of them they could. They only made 2 records. This is their second and last record. Unfortunately, because I think this band could have been something. I think they're absolutely wonderful. There are some live recordings out there. I did stream a couple of the live recordings. Good stuff. Really good stuff. There was a one of the recordings, I think it was live in Japan, had a really good version of Mr. Soul, the Neil Young, Buffalo Springfield song. Yeah, they're really good. I also streamed the deluxe not deluxe, but the streaming version of this has extra songs, and there were a bunch of instrumentals at the end. That man, I would have listened to those all day. This guy playing guitar on an instrumental for 10, 12 minutes. They really jammed. This was a cool band, the Human Beinz. So I'm gonna now go to the book. If I can read this font. It is very small font. The font in the other book is much larger, or maybe that's why I like it. So let's see what the book says about Evolutions by here we go. Impressive late 1960s beat that shows the band refining their characteristic mix of acoustic guitars, fuzz, subtle orchestrations, and Beatles-style songs. They're really terrific songs. I mean, there's not a bad song on this record. It's great all the way through. I'm surprised it wasn't a bigger hit. Flower in the Grave. Okay, that's from the first album. Yeah. Let's see what else. All but nothing here is quite as brilliant as Flower in the Grave on the debut, but all over it's strong. It's a stronger LP, delivering in all of the key areas, including some of the average lyrics. Hendrixy hard rock aspirations creep into a few songs, but the end results, it is closer to power pop than anything else. The infectious piano destruction is surprisingly effective because it's so graphic. No cheap sound library strips the human... Well, I don't know what that means. Snips. The Human Beinz smash a piano to pieces and you can hear it. I don't know what song that is. An appealing title from the band, who deserve to have been remembered for more than just one 45 hit. So that is the Human Beinz from this book. I highly recommend this. If you guys see it, grab it. I would get their debut too. Both excellent records. That's my entry into Dom's Seeking a Thread. I think that's all I'm gonna say. I'm feeling disjointed today. I don't know. I don't know. I'm feeling weird. But you guys have a good night, and I will talk to you soon. Take care, man.